a story of sacrifice and upheaval. The summer of 1914 was one of anticipation and tension in Europe. The complex web of alliances and nationalist rivalries had created a volatile atmosphere where a single spark could ignite a wider conflict. That spark came on June 28, 1914, when Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was assassinated in Sarajevo, Bosnia, by Gavrilo Princip, a young Serbian nationalist. The assassination triggered a chain reaction of diplomatic crises and military mobilizations. Austria-Hungary, determined to crush the growing nationalist movement in its Slavic territories, issued an ultimatum to Serbia. When Serbia refused to comply, Austria-Hungary declared war. Russia, bound by a treaty to Serbia, began mobilizing its army. Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, declared war on Russia and France and invaded neutral Belgium. Britain, committed to defending Belgium, declared war on Germany. The war was fought on multiple fronts, but the Western Front in France and Belgium became the most infamous. Trenches stretched for hundreds of miles, from the North Sea to the Swiss border. Soldiers on both sides lived in squalid conditions, exposed to mud, lice, and rats. The trenches became a symbol of the war's stalemate and futility. Battles like Verdun and the Somme became synonymous with massive casualties and minimal gains. New technologies like tanks, machine guns, and poison gas were introduced, but often with limited success. Soldiers faced unimaginable horrors, from the sound of artillery fire to the sight of mangled bodies. The trenches were a nightmarish reality where soldiers lived in constant fear of death and injury. The war's impact on civilians was devastating. Cities were bombed, crops were destroyed, and economies were strained. Women took on new roles, working in factories and farms. The war also saw the rise of propaganda and censorship as governments sought to control the narrative and maintain morale. The war's human cost was staggering. Over 37 million people were killed or wounded, including civilians and soldiers. The loss of an entire generation of young men had a profound impact on European society. Families were torn apart, and communities were left to mourn the loss of their loved one. The United States entered the war in 1917 after Germany resumed unrestricted submarine warfare and sank several American ships. The U.S. contribution helped shift the balance in favor of the Allies. The German army's collapse on the Western Front, combined with the arrival of American troops, led to a series of Allied victories. On November 11, 1918, an armistice was signed, bringing an end to hostilities